Have you ever felt like giving up? Like you're stuck, exhausted, and wondering if the struggle is even worth it? Do you ever ask yourself, why keep going? If that sounds familiar, you're not alone, and you're exactly where you're meant to be. Because what you're feeling right now, that tension, that doubt, that resistance, it's not a sign to quit, it's a sign to start. Start becoming. Start transforming. Start stepping into the life you were born to live. In this video, we dive deep into the timeless wisdom of Marcus Aurelius and Stoic philosophy to remind you of one truth. You're stronger than you think. Your trials aren't punishments, they're preparation. So before we begin, make sure to subscribe to this channel. If you're serious about growth, self-mastery, and becoming unstoppable, this is your space. Now take a breath, and let's begin. 1. The battle with doubt. Don't let go. There are moments in every person's life when the voice of doubt creeps in, quiet at first, like a whisper. Quit, it says. You're not strong enough. This isn't worth it. And the more you listen, the louder that voice becomes. It weaves into your thoughts, distorting them. You begin to question your choices, your direction, even your own worth. But here is what the Stoics understood, a truth as solid as stone. Doubt is not your enemy. It is your teacher. It does not come to destroy you. It comes to test you. Doubt exists to see what you are made of. It is the crucible in which strength is forged. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, faced wars that threatened the very fabric of the empire. He endured betrayal from those closest to him and suffered personal loss and pain most would crumble under. Yet he never surrendered. He wrote not to appear wise, but to remind himself, daily, that the path of virtue is never free from struggle. Why? Didn't he quit? Because he knew that to surrender to doubt was not just a personal loss, it was a betrayal of his potential. He saw clearly what many fail to grasp, that hardship is not the signal to retreat, but the invitation to rise. That every time you choose not to fold under pressure, you gain something no comfort could ever give you. Resilience. You become battle-tested. You begin to trust yourself not because things are easy, but precisely because they aren't. And you remain. Your resolve deepens. Your character sharpens. You stand taller not because you're unbroken, but because you've chosen not to be defined by the breaking. Every difficult decision, every setback that urges you to walk away, is actually a threshold. On one side is regret, the kind that lingers, that haunts you. On the other side is exhaustion, yes, but with it comes growth. Remember, regret lasts longer than exhaustion. One fades, the other festers. Think about it. Which weighs heavier over a lifetime, the soreness of hard work or the sting of what if? The answer is clear to those who have lived long enough and suffered deeply enough. The greatest pain is not failure, it's in never having tried. Stoics were never afraid of pain or struggle. They feared stagnation. They feared moral decay more than physical discomfort. So they taught that difficulty is not to be avoided, it is to be embraced. When things get hard, that's when it matters most. That is your proving ground. When your knees shake and your hands tremble and everything in you begs for release, that is when your decision has weight. Anyone can keep going when it's easy. The question is, who are you when it's not? You were not made for ease. You were made for impact. And impact only comes when you're willing to endure. So the next time doubt whispers in your ear, smile. Recognize it. Welcome it. Say, I see you, but I'm not done yet, because you are still standing. And as long as you are standing, you are still fighting. And that matters more than you know. 2. Pain is the path. Endure to evolve. Pain is not the enemy. This is a lesson the Stoics understood better than most. In a world obsessed with comfort, with the shortest path, the fastest solution, and the easiest route, it is radical to believe that pain is not only acceptable, but necessary. It is, in truth, the path itself. The Stoics didn't romanticize pain, they didn't seek it for its own sake. But they recognized that avoiding it is a guaranteed path to weakness. Life is unpredictable. People will betray you. Dreams will falter. Plans will break, and when they do, your strength will not come from what you've read or said. It will come from what you've endured. Endurance is not weakness. It is power in its purest form. Because anyone can remain calm when everything is going right. Anyone can smile when the sun is shining. But the real question is, who are you when life throws you to your knees? What do you do when you're tired? When no one is watching, when everything in you wants to give up? That is when character is revealed. That is when true strength shows up, not in words, but in action. Pain is not a punishment. It is a sculptor. Every hardship is a chisel in the hand of fate, shaping you, refining you, making you into something more durable. You can resist it and crack, or you can endure it and emerge with a strength few will ever understand. Marcus Aurelius never asked for ease. He didn't pray to avoid the storm. He prepared himself to withstand it. Be like the rock, he wrote, against which the waves crash, but which stands unmoved. He knew that the storm will come. That's not a matter of if, but when. And when it does, he chose to meet it with steadiness, with virtue, with clarity. The pain you carry today can either bury you or build you. It all depends on what you believe it's for. If you think pain is there to punish, you'll shrink. But if you see pain as a tool, a teacher, a fire that tempers your soul, you'll rise, and you won't just survive the storm. You'll become stronger because of it. Real growth rarely feels good in the moment. It's uncomfortable. It stretches you. It demands more of you than you thought possible. But that's the point. That's how you evolve. There is no transformation without trial, no character without conflict, no discipline without discomfort. So don't run from pain. Let it shape you. Let it forge you. Let it reveal to you the strength that was buried underneath the comfort. Because the world doesn't need more people who've had it easy. It needs more people who've faced the fire and stayed standing. 3. Progress, not perfection. Perfection is a trap. It seduces you into waiting for the right moment, the perfect words, the ideal opportunity. But perfection never arrives. And so many dreams die not because people lacked talent or passion, but because they waited too long for everything to be just right. The Stoics knew this well. Marcus Aurelius didn't write to the world. He wrote to himself. Notes, reminders, imperfect reflections to help him stay on course. He never claimed to be flawless. In fact, his writings are full of admissions of weakness, frustration, self-doubt. And yet he kept showing up. That's the Stoic way. You're not called to be perfect. You're called to be present, to show up, to take the next step. Perfection is static. Progress is movement. And movement is life. Imperfect action is infinitely more powerful than perfect intention. Because action builds momentum. It creates clarity. Each step teaches you something new. What works, what doesn't, who you are. The key is to keep going. To learn from every stumble. To embrace the messiness of growth. Every expert was once a beginner. Every strong soul once struggled. Don't let an imagined future stop you from taking action today. Don't let the illusion of not good enough rob you of the very real progress you can make right now. Start small. Start scared. Just start. You're not here to impress the world. You're here to improve. And that happens one imperfect, intentional step at a time. The Stoic path is not about flawless execution. It's about relentless effort. Fall, rise, repeat. That's what greatness looks like. 4. Now is the moment. Take the step. The Stoics were warriors of the present. They didn't wait for the perfect time or for conditions to align before taking action. To them, the present moment wasn't just a fleeting second in the flow of time. It was the only reality that truly existed. Everything else, the past with its regrets and the future with its illusions, was out of reach. What mattered was now. Too many people live in delay. They hold off on chasing their dreams. They postpone conversations that need to be had. They procrastinate on becoming the person they know they could be. The reasons vary. Some wait for motivation, others for clarity, and many simply wait out of fear. But the Stoics had a word for this: self-deception. Because deep down we know that tomorrow is not guaranteed. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most respected Roman emperors and a profound Stoic thinker, wrote, "You could be good today, but instead, you choose tomorrow." These words weren't written to others. They were a reminder to himself. Even someone with immense responsibility, status, and distractions still recognized the danger of putting off personal virtue and action. Marcus knew what we all come to learn sooner or later. Procrastination is not harmless, it's destructive. Every moment we delay is a moment lost. When we wait, we reinforce hesitation. We make inaction a habit. The more we delay, the more distant our goals become, not because they move, but because we step further away from them. Progress requires presence. It demands that we engage with what's in front of us right now. Not when we're ready, not when we're inspired, but now. There's a common misconception that action requires certainty, that we need a perfect plan before we can start. But the Stoics challenge that idea. Epictetus taught that our role is not to control everything, but to control what we can. Our thoughts, our actions, our choices. The rest is fate. What matters is whether we're acting in accordance with our values in this moment, regardless of whether we know what tomorrow holds. This is not about recklessness. It's about alignment. It's about recognizing that the conditions we crave, confidence, clarity, security, are not prerequisites for action. They are the results of action. You become confident by showing up. You find clarity by doing. You build momentum by moving. The road appears as you walk it, not before. The present is not just where life happens, it's where identity is forged. Every decision you make now shapes who you are becoming. The choice to read instead of scroll. The decision to speak truth instead of staying silent. The act of getting up when you want to stay down. These are the bricks that build your character. Not grand gestures made in the future, but small choices made today. The person you want to be is not waiting for you somewhere down the line. That person is built with every action you take in this moment. Discipline is not something that arrives one day. It's something you practice, imperfectly, now. Courage is not summoned in some ideal scenario. It's chosen in the everyday, moments of fear and doubt. Time is not a river we float down. It's a resource we must use. Seneca warned us that life is long if we know how to use it. But many people squander it, not because they lack hours in the day, but because they live without intention. They are always preparing, but never beginning. The question is not, will you have time later? The real question is, what will you do with the time you have right now? You don't control tomorrow. You don't own next year. But you do have this breath, this heartbeat, this step. So take the step. Whatever you've been delaying, begin it. Whatever truth you've been hiding from, face it. Whatever life you've been waiting to live, step into it, because this is it. This is your moment, not yesterday, not someday, now. 5. The power of quiet strength. In a world that celebrates noise, Stoicism honors silence. Not the silence of avoidance or apathy, but the silence of strength. In the eyes of a Stoic, true power doesn't scream. It doesn't clamor for recognition. It stands firm, calm, and unwavering in the face of chaos. Today, the loudest voices often dominate the conversation. Social media rewards outrage and spectacle. People equate volume with value, but noise doesn't equal substance. And silence, when rooted in self-possession, can be louder than any shout. The Stoic doesn't need applause. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, ambition means tying your well-being to what other people say or do. Sanity means tying it to your own actions. A Stoic doesn't chase validation from the crowd. They focus on what's within their control, their integrity, their principles, their responses. Quiet strength is doing what's right even when no one is watching. It's showing up when you're tired. It's keeping your word when it's hard. It's not retaliating when you're wronged. It's not weakness, it's restraint. It's choosing the high road, not because it's easy, but because it's honorable. Who are you when no one is watching? That question lies at the heart of Stoic character. Anyone can perform in front of others, but character is built in solitude. It's in the early mornings when you train without recognition. It's in the late nights when you reflect, rather than distract yourself. That's where greatness grows, outside the spotlight, in the disciplined dark. Epictetus taught that external events don't disturb us, our judgment about them does. That's the essence of quiet strength. You don't control the storm, but you can control your ship. Others may shout, provoke, or attack, but you stay anchored. Not because you're passive, but because you're grounded. We often associate strength with dominance, physical, verbal, social. But the Stoic version of strength is internal. It's about mastery over the self. The hardest battles aren't fought against others, they're fought within. The battle to control your temper, to silence your ego, to face pain without complaint, to remain principled when it's costly. This kind of strength doesn't show off. It doesn't need to. It doesn't boast. It simply is. In Stoic philosophy, adversity is not an obstacle, it's an opportunity. Seneca wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." Quiet strength is forged through trials. It's built when things go wrong and you stay right. When people doubt you and you stay committed. When life wounds you and you heal without bitterness, and it's consistent. That's key. Not just brave, once but daily. Not just discipline now and then, but over and over again. The world may never see those victories, but you will, and that's enough. Because you're not living to impress others, you're living to be aligned with your values. Fame fades, applause stops, even fortune is fickle. But integrity endures, and in a world that praises noise, your quiet strength will be rare. It will be misunderstood, but it will be real, and it will inspire silently those who see it. So ask yourself, can you be strong without being loud? Can you be calm in a storm? Can you hold your ground without fanfare? That's the Stoic path, and it's yours, if you choose it. Your time is now. Don't wait. Don't hesitate. Don't waste another moment convincing yourself that you're not ready. Because here's the truth. You're already ready. Everything you need is already inside. You just need to say yes to the work, to the path, to the storm. You were not built to break. You were built to rise. So take the step. Face the fire. Live the philosophy. Don't quit. Your time is now. If this message spoke to you, share it. Leave a comment with your biggest takeaway and subscribe for more Stoic wisdom and self-mastery insights. We're just getting started.